this is the latest from the BBC. They're saying that Australia is going to pay the French a 555 million euro settlement. Why? Because of AUKUS. So the Australians originally, they had agreed to let the French build them submarines. These are, diesel submarines. Okay? Australia had cancelled a contract with the French that was worth $37 billion. $37 billion. Astronomical. And again, these were diesel-powered submarines. And what happened? The United Kingdom and the United States went and forged a new military alliance with the Australians. And what does this military alliance include? It includes Tomahawk missiles. I've gone through all this already, but the most important thing is it's the nuclear submarines. Now, when I say nuclear submarines, they don't have nuclear weapons on board. No nuclear weapons, but they are nuclear powered. So they're far more efficient and far more capable than diesel-powered submarines. And, what angered the French is not this that the Australians canceled the contract. Check this out, man. The French only found out about these submarines a few hours after the PR conference, after the press conference. I watched that live. So I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but I think even I found out before the French government. I was watching Scott Morrison and Biden and Johnson do this ridiculous, put on this ridiculous act about, we need to secure the Indo-Pacific for the threats in the future. What threats? What threats? China's your friend, your largest trading partner, and you want to go antagonize it. That's not going to end well, man. So what they're doing here is basically calming the French down, because this caused a huge issue, man. The French were very angry. You know what happened? Macron was asked, did Scott Morrison lie to you? Right? About the submarines. Take a look at the video and look at what Macron says. Keep in mind, Scott Morrison is not the Australian Prime Minister anymore, right? We have Albanese now. Macron is still the French president. He just won his second term. But this is from a few months ago. This is back in October, okay? Take a look.
Good luck.
Can you trust Scott Morrison again? Can you trust Scott Morrison again?
We discussed. I do respect.
Can you trust him, though?
I mean, we will see what he will deliver. I have a lot of respect for your country. I have a lot of respect and a lot of friendship for your people. I just say when we have respect, you have to be true and you have to behave in line and consistently with this value.
Do you think he lied to you?
I don't think. I know.
Thank you.
Whoa. Very touchy, right? So he straight up said, I don't think Morrison lied to me. I know he lied to me. And not even 24 hours later, someone anonymously leaked the text messages between Macron and Morrison to the press. Obviously, that came from Morrison's office. There was a huge dispute, right? Really, they always call this a spat, right? So that's the word they describe it. That's how we would say it in England. It's a spat, a diplomatic spat. So right now they're fixing this issue with this settlement. Now, the settlement, I mean, when you consider what Australia has already spent, this is peanuts in comparison. The Australians are going to be in possession of something that only very few countries have. So if you think, oh, well, it's just nuclear powered and it doesn't have nuclear weapons on board, so it's not that special, it can just stay submerged for longer. Yeah, that's a huge tactical advantage, man. Why do you think only a few countries have these? Take a look. Over here, the BBC article. You see the difference? The ones in yellow are nuclear powered ballistic missile subs. And the ones in white are other nuclear powered attack subs. The US has 68 in total, Russia 29, China 12, the UK 11, France 8, and India 1. So the Australians will get a few of them, but only nuclear powered. And what did we see in response? We saw the Chinese going and setting up this security pact with the Solomon Islands, you remember? And that angered the Americans. So it's back and forth. Let me break this down very simply, man. This is all about trade. Do you understand? The Americans want to remain in control of all the vital shipping lanes. They want to control all the traffic. So this is the same when we talk about Yemen and the Horn of Africa. And of course, on the other side, they're in Djibouti, they're in Somalia, And that's why they're always antagonizing Iran, because they want to cover both sides of the peninsula. You understand? And then, of course, on the other side of the planet, this is where we're at. Any place the Americans don't control or NATO doesn't control, specifically, especially if it's important for the economy, or I shouldn't say the economy. No, it's not the economy. This is domination. Do you understand? When they say, "Oh, it's securing our economy," that's their catchphrase. That's the propaganda. This is about dominance. And also, I would also add, it's about antagonizing China, because when they're done with Russia, they're going to go and start with Taiwan and China. Mark my words. Mark my words. When they're done with Ukraine and Russia, they will go and enter, they call it the pivot to the east, right? Again, I love how creative the Americans are with the newspeak, right? You know, we do have a fair bit in the UK, but the Americans, I feel like they excel at it, right? They have these really lovely, creative ways of saying these things. So they will have a pivot to the east and start messing around with China, because I'm sorry, man. If China, think of it like this: if China went to, I don't know, let's say it's Cuba or Venezuela, and said, "You know what? We're going to build you some nuclear-powered submarines," the United States would explode. Completely, they would combust, man. It's over. Their heads would explode. Fox News, MSNBC, boom, boom, boom. You see each one of them outraged. Oh my God, China, the threat. It's coming to our shores, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they already say this stuff now, and China's not doing anything. Always remember, who is the one that is going to the other? Who is going to whose doorstep and putting bases there and putting submarines there? Always ask yourself this question. Always remember this, right? Because these are oceans apart. We're not talking about, oh, these are neighbors, these are next door to it. These are oceans apart. It's very clear. It's very clear. And I would just remind you, again, when Cuba was threatened after the Bay of Pigs and they asked for some Soviet help. And of course, before that, people forget the Americans put nuclear missiles, the Jupiter missiles in Turkey, which threatened Russia. They didn't like that either. There's a concept that the Americans have. It's the Monroe Doctrine. And it means that in the Western Hemisphere, they have to dominate everybody and do whatever it takes to, you know, secure their peace or their freedom and their security. I mean, they come up with all sorts of nonsense to just say that they want to dominate everybody. It's just imperialism. Let me be very clear. China is not Russia, okay? The Chinese are far more capable. It's just the way it is right now in this period in history. The Chinese are the top dogs in terms of their economy, you know, how advanced they are, the military technology. It's them. It's not it's not Russia. It's not the Soviet Union. Russia right now isn't even close to the Soviet Union. I'm not saying it's nothing. It's obviously a power, but my point is that, you know, the Americans, they always talk about rising China because they pretend that they're threatened. They're not threatened. They're not threatened. They have a whole state continent to themselves. And if they would just leave everybody alone, that's it. End of story. To me, what's so funny is that this diplomatic spat between Macron and Morrison received more media coverage and outrage than the fact that they are putting nuclear submarines on China's doorstep. Like, do you see the level of disconnect? How normalized wars become? This is their standard, right? This is their standard. Oh, you canceled the contract with us. Hello? Are you trying to start World War fucking 3? What is wrong with you? Mais vous êtes malade? Here, look at the BBC. They say, what is AUKUS? What's the aim? Why did it anger France? Not why did it anger China? They say AUKUS is widely seen as a response to the growing power of China. No, it's not widely seen. It's only seen like that in the West. And even then, I think most people don't even know what AUKUS is. AUKUS is widely seen as a response. You see that how they pretend they're victims? Response to the growing power of China and an effort to counter its influence in the contested South China Sea. Wow. This is what you call propaganda. This is drivel. This is drivel. But of course, things only go one way, right? It's a one-way street. It's the US calling the shots, and Australia and the UK tag along behind like good poodles. That's how it is. But I wouldn't get too arrogant. You know why? Because China, Iran, Russia, they're not playing around. These are not countries that, you know, the resistance axis as a whole, that's one thing. But China, in addition to that, you know, Russia, in addition to that, these are not countries that are just going to sit down and tolerate this sort of, you know, 19th century colonial bullshit. For me, when I see this stuff, what they're trying to do with AUKUS, this is money for the arms manufacturers, just, you know, throwing more billions into their pockets, and just a desperate attempt to make the US, the UK, and Australia relevant. I feel like the UK only jumped in on this to try and appear relevant. That's it. That's it. Right? What's the UK got to do with the South China Sea, even if you believe they're nonsense? What is the UK doing there? Don't get me started on the Opium Wars and what we did over there in China. 19th century colonialism. It hasn't changed, man. It hasn't changed. The faces are new, the suits are new, the weapons are new, but it's straight up 19th century colonialism. And that's what they don't want to admit to you. That's what they don't want to tell you.